Hello everyone, what is poppin'? We are here today for our week 1 team builder or team analysis for the APA, and our first opponent is going to be Mewtwo Fanate, my boy Mewtwo Fanate, who's the coach of the New York Noibats, I believe. And let's go ahead and take a look at his team. He has a Zygarde 50, Manaphy, Amoonguss, Klefki, Uxie, Crobat, Mienshao, Regirock, Alolan Raichu, Wigglytuff, and a Mega Houndoom as his Mega Pokemon. List should have already appeared to your right. And as you can see, like, he has a bunch of threats. He has a bunch of threats like Zygarde 50, huge threat, got banned from OU, but is still around in the draft scene, of course. Manaphy, which something that can run like Tail Glow Rain Dance, like Z Rain Dance or something, or just any kind of really good Z coverage move with Tail Glow or Calm Mind. So that's something we got to watch out for. Mega Houndoom is a very fast Nasty Plot user, so that's another big threat he has. Mienshao, really great choice Scarfer, hits really hard. I don't know, a lot of really interesting mons that he has on his team. I'm definitely expecting him to bring the Zygarde 50, the Manaphy. I think he would want to bring Crobat just because that Pokemon is a really solid answer to my Superior, so that's something he might want to bring, especially since it has Infiltrator, so it can break through like Sub-Superior, Sub-Seed Superior or something, so I can't really do much with that, so I opted not to bring Superior. But I think he'll bring Crobat along with those two big mons like Zygarde 50 and Manaphy. I think he'll definitely bring Klefki just because that thing can get off Prankster T-Waves, it can have Prankster Spikes, Magnet Rise to avoid my ground type attacks. And it's also a really good, I guess, checker answer to my Kyurem, so I feel like that thing might come along as well to try to slow things down. I think he'll also bring the Mega Houndoom just because it is a fast Pokemon. It's something that can do really well versus Jirachi, for instance, and I guess like since he's faster than Mega DNC, my prediction is that he's going to bring HP Steel, Hidden Power Steel on it to try to deal with it, so I feel like that's something that could come along with like a Nasty Plot set. And maybe for the last mon, like, it could be a lot of different things. It could be Mienshao, it could be Uxie maybe for some Stealth Rocks, or Regirock perhaps. Not really sure about Regirock, but may or may not show up. I think that Amoonguss could also be a possibility, but I feel like I have a lot of answers for it, so he might leave that behind. But yeah, I feel like those are a couple of mons that he might bring as his 6th one. I don't really see a Alolan Raichu or Wigglytuff. Maybe like a Scarf Alolan Raichu, but I don't know. I have like many things like I have 2 ground types basically, so I don't know if you'll want to bring that. But yeah, so like he has options definitely. But I figured that like I guess the first 5 that I named will more than likely guarantee show up. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I started off. So I guess the way that I wanted to build around his team, right? Instead of trying to bring a Choice Scarfer to outrun something like a +1 Zygarde or a +1 Rain Manaphy or anything like that, I decided that I'm gonna bring Paralysis support for this team versus his squad. So decided to start off with a Heliolisk, right? One of the mid-tier like tier 3 mon, I think. Heliolisk, pretty cool Pokemon because it can actually have that dry skin, and it's also faster than Manaphy naturally, of course, being I think a base base 109, which is a really cool speed tier. I feel. Heliolisk is something that I think could do really well because of the fact that it has an immunity to water type moves, so it can check Manaphy really well. It lives a +3 Ice Beam or a Tail Glowed Ice Beam from it, and Thunderbolt's a 2-hit KO, which is really nice on Manaphy because I'm running a leftover set because it has Substitute, so I want that residual HP back. It can glare a lot of different things on his team, like for instance, Paralysis. You would only assume that it would work on everything, but because like T-Wave doesn't affect ground types, of course, doesn't affect electric types. However, Glare can paralyze ground types, so we can paralyze stuff like the Zygarde. If we can do that, that'd be amazing. That Dragonite Sweeper or whatever will not be as threatening if we can paralyze it. If we're behind a sub and we predict his switch out into something, paralyze that. So I think that Heliolisk can really support the team well. Thunderbolt and HP Ice will allow us to deal with stuff like Manaphy plus Zygarde respectively. Hits both of those really, really hard. 2-hit KOs both of those, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, other than that, like, it's a great mon, I think. It has enough speed to outrun the Mienshao, so it's a really fast mon. Base 109, so it allows us to outrun Mienshao with this speed. And just dump the rest into special attack because I want to hit as hard as possible. And 28 HP, I guess, just dump the rest into that as well. So that's the first Pokemon here. Our second mon is going to be another Para supporter with Body Slam Jirachi. It's going to be 4 attacks with Shuca Berry has enough speed. So this is where we start getting into some of the Chinese EV spreads here. Okay, this is where we start getting a little bit enlightened a bit. Okay, let me show you guys what I got. So we got that jirachi, right? We got that jirachi with the shucka berry. So this EV spread allows us to live a plus 3,000 arrows from Zygarde 50. So if it's like adamant, if he dragon dances or coils like even up to 3 times, it can still live at from full HP with that shucka berry. And Ice Punch will do a lot of damage to that as well. So I'm hoping, I mean, it's just a safety measure, but I don't assume that we'll get into that position. But if we do, that's something that can help us out here with the shucka berry versus his team. We have enough speed to outrun, if I'm not mistaken. I think I set this thing to outrun maybe the Zygarde, I think. Yeah, I have it faster than Zygarde by 1 point. His Manaphy, I don't really care too much about trying to speed tie it. If he's running Z Rain Dance or something like that, and if I hard switch into the Lizard heliolisk, it'll be healing up, because if Dry Skin is active, Dry Skin not only heals you when you get hit by a water move, but it gradually heals you with if there's rain. So I'll have leftovers and that rain healing me as well. So I got like double leftovers then, basically. So that could be pretty cool. But with Jirachi, like I'm not really worried too much about trying to outrun something like a Manaphy. If I can paralyze it and he's not like a hydration set, that works too. I have Iron Head and Zen Headbutt, so Iron Head can flinch down stuff like I don't know, like Amoonguss, and no, not Amoonguss, but like Regirock. While Zen Headbutt can flinch down stuff like Amoonguss, hit it super effectively. And then we have Ice Punch, just for that Zygarde basically. Body Slam I figured would be nice because the other 3 moves allow Mega Houndoom to switch in safely. Body Slam does not allow Mega Houndoom to switch in safely, because if that thing gets paralyzed, that's amazing for the rest of our team for it to outrun, because I cannot outrun stuff like Mega Houndoom. I can't outrun Crobat, anything that's scarfed, or anything that's set up to +1 speed or anything. I have to use Glare support, and I think that's going to work a lot better than a Choice Scarfer, because say for instance I am up against Manaphy or something, drop a Draco, maybe like against Zygarde, hit him with the Scarf Ice Beam, then Houndoom can come in and Nasty Plot, I'd be locked in, so that'd be kind of annoying. So I figured that having Glare support can really work well for the team. Speaking of Kyurem though, let's just move on to that. As you can see, I have here a very nice EV spread without much speed. I got 4 HP in 4 EVs in HP, 4 EVs in speed, so kind of like the little sandwich. This the nice meaty EV spread right here, as you can see. We have enough SPDEF for us to take a +2 Mega Houndoom's Fire Blast after rocks, which is amazing. It gets like, I think maybe 3 hit KO'd or less actually, probably 4 hit KO'd from like Mega Houndoom's Dark Pulse, which is crazy. It's pretty insane. Enough special attack, which is able to Oko Mega Houndoom after rocks, so that's nice. It can 2-hit KO the Klefki as well, do a lot of damage to everything on his team. Dragon Pulse hits really hard. It does a lot of good damage to Manaphy. Had that especially for that with I guess with Dragon Tail in order to phase out setup sweepers, so that's nice. And just some good coverage overall. Not much speed, but the bulk will really help its survivability a lot with the AV. Enough defense, I think, to take like a plus something 1,000 arrows from Zygarde. I forgot what I said it for, but I knew that it had a purpose, so it's definitely a good reason for that 188 defense. And that's gonna be Zygarde. So, Kyurem. That's gonna be Kyurem. So hopefully we can not be too overwhelmed by Zygarde. I think the biggest thing I'm worried about on his team is gonna be Zygarde, because that thing can run a plethora of different sets. So if we can deal with that, I think the rest will kind of be easy after that. Let's go over our last 3 months. So I decided to keep a Stealth Rocker for the team. Mega Diancie will be playing not really the role of an offensive, hard-hitting Pokemon, even though it can still kind of hit really hard without much investment, but it'll be playing more of the role as a support mon with Magic Bounce when it Mega Evolves and getting up rocks, sort of, I guess, keeping his team at bay. With this EV spread here, like I said, remember I mentioned how I predict his Mega Houndoom to have Hidden Power Steel? The EV spread that I have here allows me, from full HP, to live a Mega Houndoom's Hidden Power Steel, Oko it, and it Okos it with Power Gem. It guarantee Okos Mega Houndoom with Power Gem, and it also guarantee lives Hidden Power Steel. So that's amazing. It's able to check that really well. It can check things like Crobat, of course, Brave Bird, and things like that, as long as it doesn't have Steel Wing. It can do a lot of damage to Zygarde with Moonblast. It can dent Manaphy pretty well. A lot of different things. It hits pretty well overall, except for the Klefki. But because we have Protect here, I think Protect is going to be really nice for this set, because of the fact that it allows us to lead with it and click Protect versus something like a Klefki Spikes, for instance, or like even a Uxie Stealth Rocks. So something like that can be really useful, especially since if we get off an early mega, we can kind of switch around a bit here and there, prevent him from ever wanting to click a hazard move or a status move because he'll be scared of Mega Diance's magic bounce. So that's something to note. And yeah, other than that, not much else to say. Really cool mon. I'm very excited to use it once again. And we have Gliscor. So Gliscor is going to be a Pokemon that's going to support the team with Defog. Has enough defense to live a +1 Adamant Dragonium Z Outrage from Adamant Zygarde. So that's going to be really useful, I think, with Ice Fang in order to chip that thing down pretty well. ×4 super effective versus Ground and Dragon Zygarde. And other than that, it's a cool mon. It can doesn't have much speed at all, but it sort of relies on its bulk to deal with things. It can help me check the Mienshao. It can help me also with versus Crobats. And it has a decent amount of speed def, so it can take a hit from Houndoom and stuff. Go for Earthquake. It can, I guess, sort of deal with Raichu too, and of course, easily deals with Regirock. As long as it's not like a cursed rest set or something, it can do really well. So yeah, I do like Gliscor a lot in this matchup because it can help me deal with Zygarde and a lot of other stuff. With Protect, we can heal up with Toxic Orb, and just being a defogger is so nice, especially since he has access to stuff like Spikes and Rocks, both, which can really chip my team down and be annoying. So Gliscor, I think, is a really reliable defogger, and I think it will really help out and sort of seal the team in a really positive way. Now our final Pokemon that we have here is going to be our Gyarados. Check this EV spread out, right? 92, 92, 156, 164, and then that nice 4 HP. So what is the purpose of Gyarados in this matchup? Let me tell you. So basically, Waterfall Bounce, it hits relatively like everything, I think, doesn't it? It hits really hard, relatively hard, with a Dragon Answer 2, and it just hits everything. Waterfall being able to hit things like I guess the Crobat, or no, maybe the Houndoom. I mean, Waterfall's just a great stab move overall. Bounce, it's gonna help us nuke Amoonguss. Manaphy, it can hit Zygarde extremely hard. Just a really powerful move overall. And I think with the paralysis support from Glare, from Body Slam and whatnot, Pokemon such as Kyurem without much speed will be faster. I guess Gyarados can get off subs and try to play around them being parried and try to get those free subs off. And we have enough speed def in order for us to actually eat up a nasty plotted Mega Houndoom's Dark Pulse, which is really nice. Eat it up really well, and enough speed so that at +1 we will be faster than his fastest mon that doesn't have a Choice Scarf, which is of course his Crobat. And yeah, that's basically it for the team. So hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think overall. I think the Intimidate is also going to be really helpful with Gyarados in order to weaken stuff like physical attackers like Mienshao. It can help me versus Mienshao, set up on that like a Scarf set. Help me versus Zygarde, intimidate that if it gets out of hand. I don't know, it can set up on a lot of different things on his team, I feel. Just being able to set up so easily is one of the reasons why I brought it. And with para support, it really helps it out a lot. And I really do kind of like the feel and sort of the look of this team. It looks really cool. And I'll definitely be using these shiny Pokemon in my game. So other than that, yeah, hope y'all are excited for the match going up tomorrow. Probably 24 hours from this video. Not sure when yet. Gotta play the match and sort of coordinate a time with him for when it's gonna go up. But yeah, so thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you all on the battle going up tomorrow. Peace.